to the microphone here at the table.
Hi, my name is Jenni Simonis, and I am a graduating student here at Mount Hood Community College. And a lot of us students have been, as much as we can, been involved here in the budget process. And in going through everything, we've had a lot of concerns that we have yet to be answered or taken care of. Things like we keep hearing about how we have to make cuts to instruction because of the budget. Well, we saw an almost 1.5% increase in the general fund, yet instruction dropped by 2.5%. That's even including the increases in PERS, because that's the complete and total cost of instruction. So we're seeing instruction continue to decrease even though our budget slightly increased. We're seeing like the medical assistance program, which is now we're being told is being suspended instead of eliminated. It is something that's extremely important to the community. A lot of medical offices and hospitals and nursing homes and such really rely on the students. They say that they get some of the best trained students from Mount Hood Community College, and the cuts to this will really hurt the community as well as the students that are already on waiting lists and wanting to come here. We're looking at a cost, according to the current budget, of less than $147,000 for the program. Well, if you look at the VP of Instruction office, just in salary increases alone, $111,000 over the last budget cycle. That's not including all those fringe benefits, as we've heard, is about 50%. So that's more than enough to pay for a program that's extremely important to both students and the community. Another area is in your own annual reports that you do. We're looking at PCC, which spends less than $7 million in administrative costs. They have over 87,000 students and multiple very large campuses. We have about 31,000 students, one large campus, and then the two smaller ones, yet we spend $11.5 million on administration. Obviously, the cuts that keep coming out of instruction shouldn't be coming out of instruction, they should come out of administration. It's just absolutely ridiculous that we'd be spending that much more than an entity that is quite a bit larger than us, almost 3 times as much. Also, another thing is we keep looking at all these programs that either get eliminated. All of our faculty librarians have just been cut, which service tens of thousands of students a year. Yet we've spent no time at board meetings or anything discussing these, but spent a large amount of time discussing a cover for a pool that goes into the whole $700,000 every school year. And the whole thing was, what about the revenue that's lost? What about the community impact? What about the revenue loss when you eliminate entire programs? What about the revenue loss when students can't get any help on how to do their research projects, how to use the new tools that are online to be able to do things, and they fail classes and they leave? What about the community impact for all of those businesses that no longer are going to be able to get the interns and the employees that they need from here? Instruction is our #1 goal, it's our #1 job, yet we cut it, but are more concerned about a cover over a pool. To me, these are things that show that we have a serious problem with the budget here that needs to be resolved. And it's just continuing to get worse in each budget cycle. And we can't keep putting everything on the students and pay more, pay more, pay more. The latest thing that I saw about a week ago shows that we are now tied for the highest tuition in the state of community colleges. So, and that's including some schools that offer a lot more in services, and so they have more fees added onto that tuition. So we're actually paying more for less. And if they think that enrollment is already a problem now, it's only going to get worse. Thank you.
Do you have any clarifying comments to make relative to the testimony? Okay. Thank you very much. And thanks for the testimony. I want to compliment the college certainly for the presentation. I know the budget process is never easy. I've helped develop a lot of public budgets before I do what I'm doing now. So I fully appreciate the work it takes, and I also appreciate how difficult it is to satisfy the needs of the organization of your constituents, and likewise for the constituents to be satisfied with the budget process as well. I'm going to close the hearing and then open the regular meeting of the commission so that we can now take the action. So the hearing is closed. Commissioners, do you have any discussion on the budget that we have just been presented? Yes.
My comment here, and I think we address a little bit of what the lady just mentioned, and I understand the challenges of this year's budget and next year's budget, and it's just going to go forward. And I think it's something that was mentioned earlier, that I think we do have a systemic problem here, where it will be to a point where you cannot be cutting, so there won't be anything else to cut. And, we understand that there's a much larger problem at stake funding for community colleges, and I think what gave me a little bit of hope was a new initiative that you have of coming back and looking at changing from the ground up systemically how the college operates and how you go forward running this college. Because at the end of the day, it's all about students and it's all about instruction, and how can you change those things fundamentally so that you're not that subject to these swings in state funding that ultimately affect students and faculty. So I'm hopeful, and I'm appreciative of that effort, and I'm certainly looking forward to next year's meeting and probably the next couple of years for the State Board of Commission, and hearing about these progress on this change, or organizational change. Because I do think that there's something that needs to be done, and I'm happy.
Well, Javier's comments make me think. You have a question I should have asked earlier, which is, who's on your college stakeholders committee? Do you include students? Do you include staff? Do you?
I hate to say this is not a order, but the hearing is closed. You can make comments, but...
Oh, I can't ask a question?
Right,
Well,
I think we should...
okay, my comment is I hope stakeholders will include students.
Very good. Is there some staff comment relative to recommendations or objections or recommendations to be included in the certification letter?
Yes, Mr. Chair, in looking at the audit for June 30, 2010, we noted relatively minor, but still we would like to point out some over expenditures in the 2009-2010 year, and so we include that as a recommendation in the certification letter, directing the college and particularly the finance staff to just monitor those expenses a little bit more carefully and adjust appropriations before they spend the money, so this doesn't happen next year. Other members of pretty good budget.
Good. Okay, thank you very much. Yes, well done. So with that, do we have a motion to certify? And a second from Commissioner Sutherland, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, we're moved and seconded to certify. Those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Carries. Thank you very much. Dr. Zgilski, thank you very much. Dr. Hay, thank you as well. And Ms. Franklin, thank you. And with that, we're done, and we wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.